I'm Martha DeGrasse, and we're back with Boris Golubovic of TE Connectivity. We're talking about the digital DAS solution. Boris, I'd like to learn a little bit more about the installation, the infrastructure involved. I know that there's always a lot of fiber for any type of DAS installation, and particularly maybe with a digital DAS solution?
Fundamentally, fiber is really proportional to how much data people need to transport to the radio head. So the more sophisticated the remote radio head becomes, that generally it can carry more information from the fiber to the air interface. And in our case, that is a multi-band, multi-operator, multi radio head, and as such, it obviously needs to provide that information. But fundamentally, the digital aspect of it is not a downside. It's actually an upside from a technological point of view because it taps in a lot of the building blocks that people commonly use for terrestrial fiber transport. And as that technology advances, we can really upgrade our gear to adopt new technologies. So fundamentally, because of that similarity in the transport, it actually provides a more seamless path of the integration to advances in technologies that come from standard telecom networks.
So multi-band, multi-operator, but obviously it would always start with probably one operator. So is the operator more likely to use all the bands or to try to bring in other operators?
So simplicity always comes when you deal only with yourself. However, having more operator from the get-go cuts down the cost from the get-go. So it's a little bit of a choice. Some choose to start by themselves, but generally, if the equipment will be used by multiple operators, more than one are there at the very beginning, and some joining later. Generally, I would say it comes only from the fact that it's harder to coordinate multiple parties than fewer parties. But the economics of a shared infrastructure piece of equipment really comes from having more parties on it. Generally, for our gear that is used in a remote radio head or a small cell application, it would be used from multiple bands starting from day 0 or day 1, and multiple radio technologies if applicable. So many operators still run 3G and 4G networks, so both of those can run concurrently on our equipment alongside multiple bands that an operator might own.
Okay, now you mentioned small cells. Do you have deployments here that are supporting small cells?
So we have deployments that are used in applications that people would associate as small cells. And it would be a single operator using all their spectral assets in a single enclosure. So that is our Prism, FlexWave Prism product line is geared towards that. For example, an urban area where an operator has 4, for example, bands, and they want to run them all in MIMO, they would be very well advised to use a Prism remote radio head in this type of application. And from a market aspect, that would be a small cell application that would be used with a OEM's BBU.
An OEM, but it has to be Alcatel-Lucent, right?
Alcatel-Lucent is our partner in the CPRI interface. However, you can still use our equipment through a traditional RF interface, and in some markets we do that as well. There's no reason why not using analog interface from a technical, functional point of view, but from a financial point of view, from a total cost of ownership point of view, it's beneficial to use a CPRI interface for the reasons of reducing the cost of equipment, operating space, and such.
All right, great. Thank you, Boris. We're going to take a break, and when we come back, we'll hear a little bit more about your history with Alcatel-Lucent.
Great.
Thank you.